Hey, what's slicing everybody? Chris back with TWK Knives here with another knife showcase and review today. This is a very unique one with a front scale done by my friend that owns TWK Knives. He does a lot of resin scales, and this is probably one of the coolest resin scales that I've ever seen. And it has a very unique feature when light hits it at certain ways, and I'm going to be able to show you that today with a flashlight, doing the best of my ability. This is the Sencut Phantara. This is the model number for the original knife, and we're going to review the knife because the resin scale should do next to nothing for how the knife, forms and functions. But let me give a shout out to Sencut, because I'm going to tell you what, the two Sencut knives that I've got that he's customized for me at TWK Knives, they come with the same stuff that Civivi's do. They come with this nice pouch, sticker, a cloth in there. This is crazy, guys. For, $40 or less, you go to White Mountain Knives or another dealer that has a discount code, and that's crazy value. Now, I know the knives are only in, 9CR 18 MOV, but, for 40 bucks, this is a lot of knife, and they're smooth as butter, just like Civivi's and they're all bearings, look at that. Did you see how smooth that was? Keep in mind, this knife's been taken apart and customized. Butter. Absolute butter. Granted, it is helping that blade is going crazy, but before we get into the review, let's show off these scales. Now, I'm going to show you them first without the flashlight. Look how beautiful these are. Wow. And he has some different kind of color and shade combinations of this. What you're seeing in there is some copper mesh, but it has kind of a cool effect. Now on this side, just got the old Civivi clip and the wood scale that it came with. Now, if you got this knife at the base version, the regular version, they have some G10 options as well, or you could get the wood. I figured the wood would go best with this, and I personally think I was right. Let's get the flashlight out. We'll show it with the flashlight at a distance first. You see all those blues shining in the background? Is that not freaking sweet? And keep in mind, out in the sun, when you got a really good sunny day, this same effect happens outside, okay? If it's really dark out and you shine a flashlight on this knife, the same effect happens. I have tested it. Maybe at the end of the video, I'll go turn the light out and we'll see if it does the same thing here with this flashlight. I've never actually tested it with the flashlight, but I have tested it with the sunlight. I'd kind of be curious to see if it does the same thing. If so, if you lose your knife or something, this one would be pretty easy to find, huh? But let's kind of zoom in with the light here and look. If I can get the flashlight, do you see those blues coming in? So cool. Look at them coming in from the top. So neat, right? Oh yeah, there you go. So neat. Let's get the blade out. Maybe that would also help a little bit, huh? Such a cool, unique resin scale. That's so neat. If you guys want a resin scale like that, get a hold of him. He could do both sides, of course, as well. But this was the first scale I had him do, and I was kind of testing it out, seeing how good he was at making scales, and kind of getting a feel. I'd never done business with him before, but now he is doing my fourth knife as we speak. I have two other ones sitting here that I haven't reviewed yet as well, but I will show them in a size comparison today. But this is the Sencut Phantara, and let's review the knife itself now. It's a very large knife. This is not a slouch knife at all. I am putting the ruler in centimeters. This thing is, well, let's see, a little over 8.5 inches, just barely. It is kind of darker in the room right now, so we're not getting as good light at night, but I wanted to make sure we got the full effect of the flashlight. So that's why I'm doing this review at night. Let's put it up against some popular models here. We got the Civivi Elementum and the QSP Penguin. As you can see, this knife is pretty big. It's definitely not a slouch. I know this knife's been gaining some popularity. Let's bring out the Artisan Cutlery Home, which I didn't think about it last video, but I'll show it real quick with the flashlight as well. I wish I would have. That way you guys can see the red effect that I was talking about if you watched my Artisan Cutlery Home review. And this is the Ontario Rat 2, a custom knife I had done by Way of Knife and EDC Gear House, but it's the same knife, right? And you can definitely tell this knife is huge. Okay, now let's bring out the other two knives I've had him do in 2 different kinds of resin each time. This is the Towser S, and this one's got a real thick scale on it. And this is the Sencut Vesperon. And you can see this knife still triumphs in size, of course. If you do not like big knives, you're probably not going to like this one. But if you like big knives, you're probably going to love this one because it hits every parameter. And let's go over my 5 points of knives here. Whenever I review knives, I always like to go over 5 main talking points and, you know, give it a 0 to 10 rating based on each category. Now, I will be basing it on if it just had the other wooden scale, not this one, but it shouldn't change the review really any. Fit and finish, of course, coming from Civivi, you know, especially for a knife that's only going to cost you $40, this knife's fit and finish is superb, and I have 0 problems. Now, I do want to bring a disclaimer. It will come with a stainless steel clip. I put titanium clips on all my knives that I can find them for, so I just like them better, and they honestly don't cost that much. But fit and finish, 10 out of 10 for sure. I've carried this knife plenty of times because I love the way it looks in the sun. So if it's a sunny day out and we're not doing a huge amount to where I can carry a big knife, then this one ends up in my pocket a lot of the time. Price for the materials and the work, 40 bucks. You can't beat it. This is exactly what I expect from a $40 knife. 9CR18 MOV. You know, the right steel for around this price point. Smooth butter bearings. You know, wood or G10 handles. You're not going to find a huge amount for 40 bucks, and this is kind of what I expect. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for that as well. And by the way, these scales are priced, you know, if you buy just the slab of a scale, I think he charges between 20 to 30. If you're going to send him a knife or have him do a actual knife scale, it's going to be between 35 to 45, somewhere around there, depending on how much work it takes and how much you want done. That's per scale though, okay? So keep that in mind. But yeah, the price for the knife itself is definitely a 10 out of 10. Smooth action and fidgetivity. Is that even a question? Like, when knives have big blades like this, as long as the bearings or even the washers, depending on the knife, are set up correctly, big bladed knives are always going to get a 10 out of 10 in action, especially when they have multiple means of deployment. So action and fidgetivity, 10 out of 10 as well. It's going good for this knife, right? Lightweight, and how does it carry? That's the next topic for discussion, and it actually carries very well. The original clip is just stainless steel, but the overall designs of the original clips are the same as this one, in the sense that, you know, it's just going to be black stainless steel clip, but it will be deep carry. It will be shaped exactly like this one, and it will function the exact same way. Civivi and Sencut and a lot of the Wii clips are similar in this way as well. They all work great, and I've had zero problems with them ever. I never noticed them in my hand. And yeah, I think they do a pretty good job. As far as lightweight, I mean, this knife is definitely a little bit blade heavy, and it was like that before the other resin scale was put on it for sure. But, you know, it's not too bad blade heavy. They did mill out the liners heavily. Sencut's VV, very good at doing so. They know what they're doing in terms of that. So it's as light as it can be. It's not going to get any lighter than this. But of course, since it's a larger knife, it's going to be a little bit heavier than, say, an Elementum, for example. So we'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. It can't really be lighter, but just because it's going to be a heavier knife, just due to its size, we got to dock it a little bit, right? My channel is primarily focused on EDC folding knives, so in terms of that, it's going to be a little bit bigger and heavier than normal. Easy to maintain, clean, and sharpen. Yeah, let's use this side because you can see the screws a lot better on this side. Each side, you just have the main pivot screw. They did do a double pivot construction here, which is kind of a pain to take apart. I always dock half a point when I see that. It can have an advantage in some ways, I suppose, but the problem is if they're really tight and you want to take your knife apart and clean it, you're going to have to, more than likely, one of these are going to be insanely tight. One of them should come off easy, and that's usually the one that deals with, you know, how tight the action is and how much the blade wobbles and how much the blade's centered. It's not the only thing that can affect that. How tight the handles are can actually affect things like that. Among other things like the pivot ball and how well the knife is lubed up, etc. But the other one can sometimes give you some trouble when you have a double pivot like this, and sometimes you even have to you know, hold one side in to unscrew the other, and it can be a pain in the butt, especially if you're just a simple guy like me with some simple tools at home. You know, you don't got a lot of fancy tools and stuff like that. I just got a few simple tool sets, few torque sets, etc. So it can definitely be a pain. So we're gonna have to dock at half a point for that. But other than that, you have one screw here as a main body screw, and then one of these screws does act as it's the back screw. The back screw acts as a handle screw as well, and the other screw is just for the clip. If you see here, the back screw is still in there because it's a body screw, and the other screw's there in case I'd want to switch the clip over. I should have told him I don't really need that screw, but you know, it's there in case I ever want it, right? But yeah, this is a great knife, guys. Sencut, if you're looking for budget knives that you're going to beat up and you're going to love, you're going to like the action, you know, everything that you'd love about a Civivi or a Kaiser in a very, very affordable package, Sencut is definitely a brand to look at. They have a crap load of models at this point, and they're probably one of the cheapest, especially if you get it from a place where you can get a 10% discount or 20% discount, or you hit one of them knife sales during the year and stuff like that. These knives are great. I have zero complaints. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you like the scale, or any of these scales for that matter, check out TWK Knives. He is awesome. I love talking to him, and I'm so happy he's doing my 4th knife now. I'm guessing it'll be in my hands by the end of February, roughly. So I can't wait to show that one off to you. It's going to be a different color combination than any of these, of course. Right now I got the green, black, and white. I got craziness going on with this one. I don't even know how many colors are in this one. And then you got kind of the orange / gold with the blue. All have the copper mesh. All look different. They're all kind of different kinds of resin, and they all look great. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.